Welcome to the Family First Retirement Podcast with George Politarhos. For more information, visit betrayowealth.com. Now, let's get to the show.
You know, George, about this time every year, we have Angie on the show to talk a little open enrollment, talk about a little Medicare, and it always gets a huge response. So with that being said, I don't even think it's about open enrollment. I just think it's her glowing personality, to be honest.
Oh, yes. The light is shining down like an angel has fallen. It's amazing right now, the glare.
Angie Politarhos, thanks for joining us here this weekend here on Family First Retirement. And if you're on the show, that means it's time. Open enrollment is here. Let's talk about some of the big changes that we can prepare for and expect for this year's open enrollment. First and foremost, hope you're doing well.
I am. Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Of course. We love having you on the show. So let's talk about it. What are some of the big changes that adults can prepare for with open enrollment?
Open enrollment begins October 15th through December 7th, folks. And a couple changes are the drug deductibles are going up from $590 to $615 a year. The drug deductible total for the year went from $2,000 to $2,100. If you're in a supplemental plan, your deductible went from $257 to $288. There are some of the big changes. And there are also some of the companies are making changes within their companies. They're combining, they're changing different plans, they're changing their drug plans. There's a lot of things happening this year.
So, Angie, before we got started this weekend, you made the comment that there were some conversations or some headlines saying that drug prices were going to go down. But that's not necessarily true. Some of the prices are actually jumping.
That's why it's so important when you sit down each year on open enrollment, October 15th to December 7th, that we sit down and we relook at your drugs that you take and the drug plans that you're in. We'll see, because I have all the customers that I have, I keep the pricing that they had last year, what their drugs were going to cost them for the year. And then we re-enter them into the system. We're going to find out what the drugs are going to cost you for the total year, for 2026. So I'll really have an accurate look and see what your drugs, are they coming down, or is it just talk that they've been saying and the deals that they've made? We'll find out. And then we'll look again at your drug plan. This is the opportunity from October 15th to December 7th to make any changes to your drug plans.
302-330-2166 to reach out to George Politarhos, Angie Politarhos, and the team at the Betrayal Wealth Group. Angie, give me a quick education. What is the difference between Medicare and Medicaid?
Medicare, when you turn 65, or if you have certain illnesses, you sign up for Medicare. Medicaid is based on income. So everybody that's listening to us today may not qualify for Medicaid. They're more in Medicare. So what happens is when you turn 65, if you're still employed, you're just going to sign up for Part A, because you don't want to pay for Part B while you still have coverage through your employer. Once you're ready to retire, we would sign up for Part B. If you're 65 or younger and, you qualify for Medicaid based on income, you would sign up for that. And those plans are a little bit different than you get. Everybody's an individual. The system is very complex, and a lot of people say I try to navigate it on my own. I just say that it's so intense, and there's so many little tricks to know. You really need some help, and that's why we're here to assist you, to guide you.
You said the difference between Medicare and supplements, right? You gave a difference in prices. Is it right for everyone to go into one of those? And if you go into one, if you could have the perfect world, which would be the best plan possible for someone?
The Medicare plans are, you have the Medicare Advantage plans and the Medicare Supplement plans. I always say, if you can afford it, you want to get the Medicare Supplement plans. Why is that? Because a Medicare Supplement plan would be the Rolls Royce, which is available now based on your age at 65, would be Plan G. And you would have to only pay $288 out of your pocket a year, and then you would have 100% coverage. That's the difference. Whereas the Medicare Advantage plans, a lot of them have zero premiums, or they're $23 a month, but they're based on, you have to pay the first $6,500, $7,500, $8,500, $9,500 a year, depending on the plan. But how that works is if you were to go to the doctor and your doctor visit is $125, say a specialist, that all gets credited to that amount of money that you would have to pay out-of-pocket deductibles. That gets credited to that total amount. So let's say if you have a heart surgery, you would have to pay out-of-pocket $7,500. the first $7,500, and then you would have 100% coverage. Again, everybody cannot afford to get a supplemental plan, and some people don't have a choice to get a Medicare Advantage plan. But that's when you come into our office, that's what we look at for you. We look at how much revenue you have coming in a month, and then we help you determine and decide and put both plans side by side, and you make an educated decision.
Can we go year one, I'm eligible, can I go to a supplement plan, and then I can't afford it, I want to switch to Medicare Advantage next year, and vice versa? Are you able to go back and forth like you do during open enrollment?
Medicare supplement plans, when you turn 65, you have a one-time opportunity when you turn 65 to get into a Medicare supplement plan without underwriting. That means if you have a heart condition, diabetes, whatever is wrong with you, they have to accept you, okay? Now, if you say, I don't want to do that, I want to get a Medicare Advantage plan, and you get that, which George and I have experienced this many times. Mm-hmm. We had an example, one of our clients, he could well afford the Medicare supplement plan, and he said, no, I want a Medicare Advantage plan. They get it. They call me up, and then they say, oh my goodness, we have to change plans. We want to get a Medicare supplement plan. I said, what's happening? He says, I just was diagnosed with cancer. I said, okay, I don't know if they're going to accept you. Now you have to go through underwriting. The first 5 questions, if you say respond yes to those questions, you're thrown out. So that person now is stuck with that Medicare Advantage plan. So he has to pay each year those deductibles up front, and he's using it. I experienced with my husband that my husband was very sick for the last 10 years of his life. And thank goodness I had him in a supplemental plan because he had surgery every other week. Mm-hmm. So thank goodness. That saved us hundreds of thousands of dollars that I would have to pay out of pocket that comes out of our retirement money. So I say to you, get educated. Come into our office. We're going to guide you. We're going to assist you. I personally do not work for one company. We don't work for one company here. We are independent agents. So I work with 20 different companies. What works for you is what you're going to go into. It's not about me or Portrayal Wealth. It's about you, the customer. We're here to make sure we are pleasing you and get you the best plan possible.
Again, that number is 302-330-2166 or available at betrayalwealth.com. And Angie, I think we probably need to back up a little bit to just recognize what you do with the Portrayal Wealth Group. This is your lane. This is the world that you live in.
Right. What I do is, of course, I do everything that everybody else does here, but I help people sign up for Social Security. I help them sign up for their Part A and Part B. I help them transition and help them find the best plan that suits them. So, and of course, I do everything else within the company also, but everybody that comes into our office that has Social Security questions, Medicare questions, I will be dealing with you.
Again, that number 302-330-2166. You can meet Angie, George, and the team at betrayalwealth.com. And we've been talking about open enrollment, some of the pros and cons, some of the plan prices, increases, what you need to do sooner than later. But Angie, let's take a couple of seconds here and talk about some of the biggest misconceptions that adults may not realize when it comes to Medicare.
The first misconception is that it's a 2-minute job to figure out what fits your shoe size. It's definitely not. The first thing we would do is, meet. Your drugs are very important, whether it's a Medicare Advantage plan or a supplemental plan. We got to look at the whole picture. And where you buy your drugs is very important because all the pharmacies are contracted with the company separately. So there's in-network, out-of-network, and preferred vendors. So, of course, if you go to a preferred vendor for your drugs, that drugs might cost you for the year, I'm just using an example, $600. And if you go to an out-of-network provider, it might cost you $3,000 for those drugs. So it's so important to know what lane you need to be in, which in the reports when we do them, I'm showing you in black and white. It's your choice, of course, but where you need to go and shop.
George, did you notice she made the shoe comparison, just like you do every week? I mean, what is it?
It's just what does that tell you, folks? You think maybe I'm just being a smart pants, and I'm truly not, because everyone knows I wear a size 15. Mark wears a size 4.
Here we go.
My sister even has a bigger shoe than you, Mark. So what does that tell you, my friend?
Everybody's shoe is different.
Yes,
What
even
size
though you
does Mark wear?
he wears a size 4.
Wait a minute.
Oh my goodness.
No, I do
He's
not.
in the
Angie,
kids aisle.
Do not believe
He's in the
him.
movie. People don't know this about you, Mark. Can I tell them what your other profession was before we got to be hosting on the show?
No, please do. I'm interested.
He was
to see.
standing in the movie Elf. He was one of the elves working there. That's the little man we have.
What's wrong with you, man? How do we go from Medicare to me being an extra on Elf?
My sister, who I didn't even prompt to say anything negative about you, Mark, jumped right over this. So I don't know.
It really is like working with your family every single day. Can't get away from it. But it's true, George. It is true. Everybody's plan is different. And, you know, you work with Angie every day, and she is also your sister. How is that family dynamic?
I love my sisters. I love all my sisters, just like I love my brother. It's special that I'm with Angie. People don't realize Angie, and I'm not making a mockery, is a little bit older than I am. As a matter of fact, I was the baby out of 5 children, and my mother went back to work at our family's business. So my oldest sister was put in charge of taking care of me. She pushed me off to my next sister, Polly, who pushed me off to Angie. So Angie pretty much raised me. I was always with her growing up, and it just feels natural to be with her here every day, too. So it's a great thing.
302-330-2166 to reach out to George Politarhos, Angie, and the entire team at the Betrayal Wealth Group. And again, feel free to call this weekend. We do have the representative standing by all weekend. Even if you just need to say, Angie, I just need some help. Angie, I've got a couple of questions. Nothing wrong with asking the questions. It's your life's work. It's your money as well. 302-330-2166. And Angie, I know you got a lot going on, so we're going to let you go here in just a couple of seconds. But before we do that, if we could just break it down, what should adults be concerned about? What should they be doing right now as we prepare for open enrollment?
Right now, you should be getting your drugs list ready so that we can sit down and review them. We'll sit down and review and see what your expendable dollars are and decide on which plans to put you in. Please call me. I'll guide you through everything that you need to do.
And, you know, I think it's important. Angie just said, get your drug list together. Mm-hmm. What's the one thing, Angie, when people come in to sit down, they want to go over the Medicare and they want to go over this, and they say, I think it's this, or they don't give you the actual name of the drug. Does that make a big difference in the planning process? Because some drugs have different costs to them, right?
Right. What happens is in the drug plans, there's tiers, which isn't that way when you're pre-65. Let's put it that way, when you're working with an employer. So there's tiers. There's tiers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tiers 1 and 2, the drugs are some of them you pay $0 for them in tiers 1 and 2. Where the cost comes in the prices in tiers 3 to 5. So it's very important that we know the drug that you're taking and the dosage and the quantity. That determines which plans you're going to go into, the drug plan. And even in your Medicare Advantage plan, which plan you're going to take, because it's just so important. The drugs are so relevant. And then in the Medicare Advantage plans, most of them you need to have a primary care doctor to prioritize for you. Where the supplemental plans you do not have to worry about in-network and out-of-network doctors or facilities. The only thing you have to worry about with a Medicare supplement plan is, does the facility or the doctor accept Medicare? If they accept Medicare, it's a federal law, they must accept your plan. Whereas it's not the same rule with Medicare Advantage. You have to abide by an in-network doctor, out-of-network doctors. So there's prices for in-network doctors and there's different prices for out-of-network doctors. There's so much involved heading into retirement and Medicare. That's why I'm here to guide you.
302-330-2166. Again, 302-330-2166. Angie, thank you so much, as always, for joining us. And good luck, because I know it's weird to say it's like your Super Bowl. Like, this is like the biggest time of the year for you right now.
Yes, it is. Very exciting. Look forward to hearing from all of you.
Insurance and annuities offered through George Politarhos, Delaware Insurance License Number 1373121. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.